All right, everybody, welcome back. Yes. Hi, I see you. You see me. All 5 of you or 20 of you. I don't know. It's been great. Response has been nice. Let's get into it. All right. So every day we talk about the numbers, but the numbers are about to shoot through the roof because the testing is coming up. So every day there's incredible numbers. New York City is averaging, 10 people an hour, almost 10 people an hour. That is incredible. That hurts my feelings, you know what I mean? So for those of you who don't think this is serious or who don't want to self-quarantine, everywhere you look there's stories about how you should. You should definitely stay at home, do the right thing. Stories about people going to a funeral and now 17 of the family has it, and then a few of the family now they're dying off. And now we're learning that it's not just old people. It's definitely young people too. That's just the numbers aren't as great. But since the young people want to still get together and do the spring break and and go fuck and have coronavirus parties and stuff like that, they're spreading it among each other. Therefore, their numbers will go up. And as the numbers go up, the people that die will go, even if it's a smaller number, it's still going to be a lot. You're going to be amazed when a healthy 31-year-old person just fucking dies. This has been an incredible weekend. I know we went on a lot yesterday. We've been talking a lot. I still want to get with this number. That on February 2nd, the New York Times reported that there's 8 cases in America. We did not take it serious. February 2nd. Today is March 30th. Not even 60 days later, and this thing is going. The estimates are crazy. Even Trump and his doctor are like between 100,000 and 200,000 deaths. That's a lot of deaths, even though it's during flu season and people get killed. Yes, but we can cure the flu. We have a thing for the flu. We keep the flu numbers down. If the flu ran unchecked and unabated, it would be scary. It would be crazy for all people, especially for the non-vaxxers. This is what happens when there's no vax. When there's no vax, you know what I mean? This is what happens. It runs unabated. And if you ever had measles do you remember? Since tomorrow is the 31st, and then the 30th. In April of last year, New York City declared an emergency because of the measles. It was all over America. I mean, it was crazy. Like that was last year. Last year, we had to shut stuff down. We had to do quarantines. We had to do this. We had to do. So it's not even new. Like those people that are like, I can't believe this is happening in my lifetime. It's been happening. Only this time it's on a greater scale. Why am I talking so much about it? I just want to help. I just want to help you guys understand it a little bit more, and maybe. We all got to come to grips with the reality, okay? It doesn't matter how you want to spin it. It's Trump's fault. It's not Trump's fault. It's this fault. You got to realize that when it's bad for everybody. There is no more us and them. There is only us, okay? There's no us and them. That don't make any sense. There's only us. Okay? Like, look around. Look at this COVID-19 problem that we got going on, all right? It is very obvious to everybody involved, and people not involved, anybody around the world. It's very obvious that this is the result of, mismanagement of government, mismanagement of information, mismanagement of trust. There's a lot of things that went wrong for this thing to happen, I think that it's ill. It reflects ill on all society when you think that your political party is worth more than life, or that you think that your government and the being in power is worth more than. What are you going to rule over if nobody trusts you, if everybody's dead? I don't get it. I mean, look at Kim Jong-il, right? Yeah, Kim Jong-un was dead. Look at Kim Jong, the new one, right? I mean, he's the leader of a shit country. It hurts. He's not respected worldwide. All he does is hurt his people, and then shoot rockets into the ocean. Like, that is ridiculous. That's what happens if you want to be the leader of some garbage. You know what I mean? But when I was saying that the political parties and all that, I'm talking about all the parties. Talking about the Chinese political party, the Communist Party that decided not to tell anybody, that's still keeping the numbers low, because you know it's not real. You know the Italian government that decided, fuck it, let's have a soccer match, even though we know this thing's terrible, right? Today in the paper, the New Orleans people said, we put on Mardi Gras because we didn't hear anything from the government to say not to. Like everybody's placing this little blame game about like we let things go for as long as possible because we needed to make some money. And so we had to put your health ahead of the money, right? But on the flip side of that, what if the day before the Super Bowl we just announced, listen guys, there's no Super Bowl. NBA is canceled, all theaters are canceled, everybody's got to stay at home for a month. I'm sorry. That's just how it's got to be. This is the order. I mean, people would flip. People would have flipped if that had happened, you know? So you got to have a little bit of death to, you know, let people grasp the reality of the situation. Even now, with almost 1 million people affected worldwide, and how many millions of people are in lockdown, and how many millions of people are at home having financial difficulties, you know, all the numbers exponentially continue to get crazy. But us as a society, you know, we don't got to get crazy. We don't got to. But we think we choose. I think we choose to. You know what I mean? We choose to get crazy because we don't know what else to do. Chaos is our thing, you know. When you're all around, when you're used to being in unhealthy relationships and then another one pops up, you're like, wow, I get along so good. You're like, that's because this is an unhealthy relationship and it's what you're used to. Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh, Mom. Hey, speaking about our worst fears realized, I mean, come on. A Van Gogh painting was stolen yesterday from a museum that's closed due to coronavirus. You know, my only question is how many people went in as a group? Like, did they all ride together? You know, was it more than 2, more than 4, more than 10? Stolen Van Gogh. That's what we get, right? That's why we can't have nice things. Hi, honey. Miss Cece Cat is here. She's not always awake. She sleeps a lot now because she's 20. Oh. But I try to time the show so that she shows up because I understand it's much more fun to listen to me when I'm petting a cat. Oh, the whiskers. Oh, look at the whiskers. You know, it's just been her and I. I mean, my girl is at work right now getting ready for these incredible numbers, you know, that may or may not be true with this COVID-19. It's all that's consuming me. Ah! But now I want to switch gears. I mean, a little bit about the coronavirus. But I also want to talk about country music. Man, we got some we're in some pain. If you're any kind of country music fan, Kenny Rogers passed away last week. Easily one of my, you know, growing up, we had all his records, you know, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, all the records. Joe Diffie passed away yesterday at the age of 61 due to complications from coronavirus. Now you might not have heard of Joe Diffie. He only had a couple of songs for the radio, you know, John Deere Green and Third Rock from the Sun is actually a great album. Pretty good song, great album though, you know. And that guy could sing really well, Joe Diffie. He was huge in the 90s. I would say that he probably had one of the best like country voices. However, because he didn't look like a sexy dude, you know, didn't have the Garth Brooks or the Clint Black or the, you know, Dwight Yoakam. I'm trying to think of who else was popular back then. Alan Jackson. All those guys had a real mainstream look. This guy looked like he worked at Circuit City, man. If you remember, or Best Buy. Oh, shit. They're all going out of business now. This guy looked like he worked at a Target. You know, mullet, mustache. Amazing. Amazing. But definitely one of the best singers. Also, today, Monday, we learned that John Prine, who's kind of a more folky guitar playing guy, he's 72, and he is in bad shape due to coronavirus. So, country music, people that love, you know, singing country songs and picking and grinning and all that, everybody's losing somebody, you know, and that's in this world. You know, I don't know why it matters to me. I don't only love country, but Jesus Christ, I barely listen to country music. But those 3 are definitely 3 that I listen to. And so it's weird to see them all go out in a week, you know. All my favorites are gone anyway. You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Sublime, Alice in Chains, You know, who's still around that I love? Tina Turner. You gotta respect her while we can. She'll be gone soon. I love you, Tina. Man, that's the thing about music. You know, that's why music's so important. How many of us have turned to music during these hard times? How many of us are listening to songs or going back and, you know, oh, this song makes me happy. This song makes me feel good, you know, about being home alone, or helps me clean the house, whatever. Music is the greatest. Music and smell, you know, those are the greatest sensory reminders. You know what I mean? If you walk into the house that you haven't been in 20 years, but then you smell the same food cooking, you know, maybe you haven't visited your family in a while, and you go back 10 years later, and as soon as you smell that food, you're like, oh, I know I'm at Grandma's house, you know. Or you hear a song, you're like, oh, I haven't thought about that song in a while, you know. Everybody dance now. Like whatever song or whatever thing it is that you're thinking about. I know a lot of people have been regressing. I've been watching a lot of old kung fu movies on YouTube. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I think that's it. The cat left. I'm leaving. We're all leaving. All right. Thank you once again for listening to my show. I hope you like it soon. And I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, that's a terrible song.